Yeah, so what does it mean? That it is taking all the record from both the tables, whether they are matching or not matching, it doesn't care. So it is taking all the record from the left hand side table, all the record from the right hand side table, and that is known as full outer join. In case of Power BI, just to give you the difference is here. In case of Power BI, there are two more joins: left anti and right anti. Okay, left anti and right anti. There are two more joins here. In case of Tableau, we are having only four. So suppose if I want to tell you what is left anti join. Left anti join means that it will take only those records from the left hand side table which are not matching with the right hand side table. I repeat, in the left NT, it says here that it will take all the record from the left hand side table which are not matching with the right hand side table. So which are not matching here? The matching records are 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, these five records are not available on the right hand side. So when I go for left anti join, then it will take only these five records: 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, only these records will be taken from the left hand side table, but from the right hand side table, it will not take any record. It will not take any record. This is known as left anti, left anti. And the another concept in Power BI is known as right anti. Right anti is just opposite to left anti. What is right anti? Right anti will take only those records from the right hand side table which are not matching with the left hand side table. So here you can see that these five records, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 product ID, these five records are not available over here. Yeah, they are not matching. So when you go for right anti, then it will take only, yeah, it is known as right. Sorry for my handwriting. I'm writing by mouse. Right anti. Okay. So what is right anti here? Right anti means it will take this those records from the right hand side table which are not matching with the left hand side table, and from the left hand side table it will not take any record. It will take only from the right hand side table, and that is known as right anti. Yeah, this is just for your information. Yeah, but in case of Tableau, we have only these four kind of join: inner join, left join, right join, and full outer join. Okay, good. So what we'll do here, you can decide whether you want to go for inner join or left anti or right anti or full outer join. See, it all depends. See, whatever the join you select here, accordingly, you will see here that the number of rows will increase or decrease. Let me show you here. If I go for inner join, you see here, if I go for inner join, then the number of fields are 23 now. Why there are 23? Because initially out orders table was only having 21 fields, 21 columns, but now it is showing you 23 fields. Why? Because there are two fields which are coming from the people's table. How many columns are there in the people's table? Two columns are there. That is the manager column, and the another column is the region column. See here, you can see if you go on the right hand side here, extreme right hand side, you can see here these are the two columns which are coming from the people's table. You see here the people's table. So regional manager and region bracket people. So you see how it is written here, region bracket people. In the original table, it is not written region bracket people. It is simple written people in the original table, the Excel table. But here it is showing you regional manager and region bracket people. Why region bracket people? Because first of all, you remember that two columns cannot have the same name. Yeah, in the data set, two columns cannot have the same name. So here we are already having the people column. Sorry, region column here. Region column we are having in the orders table. So here in this column, which is coming from the people's table, I cannot write here simply region. It will be written like this only, region bracket people. So it is showing us that this region column is coming from the people's table. Though above also it is written here people, but this is how it is written. Yeah. So two columns are coming from the people's table, and there are already 21 columns from the orders table. That's why you can see that the 23 fields are available. Currently, what is the number of rows? 10,194 rows. Okay. Now suppose if I select here left join. Currently it is inner join. If I click here left join, in the left join also the number of rows are same. Let me click here right join. Right join also same, and full outer will also be same. Okay. So it doesn't matter here. But in other example, you will see further. Let us see with other thing. So just now what we are doing, we are going, let's say for the inner join, just for the example purpose. Yeah, you can also close this one. So orders table is now connected with the people's table. Now what we'll do, we will bring this returns table. Okay, this returns table also we bring it over here and we drop it somewhere over here. Okay, we drop it somewhere over here. So now when you bring the returns table here, returns table is also connected with the orders table. And you see here, as soon as the returns table is connected with the orders table, what kind of join it is creating? It is inner join. Okay, it is inner join. By default, it is inner join. So this is showing you the common field. Yeah, when you click on this Venn diagram, you can see here order ID, order ID. This is the common field between the orders table and the returns table. That's fine. But here, just now, by default, it is inner join. And now you see here the number of rows. See, it has drastically reduced. See, number of fields are 25 now. Why they are 25? Because two fields have come from the returns table. If you go on the right hand side, go on the extreme right, you can see that these two columns, return column and the order ID column, are coming from the returns table. So that's why now we are having total 25 fields. 21 plus 2 plus 2. So 25 fields are there total in now this whole table. Yeah. And the number of rows are very, very low now. 3,226 rows. It is just one third. Initially, how many rows we were having here? 10,100 something. Now, if I want to increase this number of rows, yeah, I can go over here in this returns Venn diagram, this join, and what I'll do, I will go for left join here. Instead of inner join, let me go for left join. Okay, once you click on the left join, then you will see here that the number of rows will increase. So let us click here left join. And you see now when we click on left join, now the number of rows have increased. 12,620 rows. Let us see what happens with the right join. If I click on right join, it is same 3,226. And if I go for full outer also it is 12,620. So I would suggest you, let us go for left join here for the second thing, left join. Okay. So the number of rows have increased. Okay. Instead of 10,000 something, now we are having 12,000 something. Good. So this is how we can do we can join the various tables with this table. See, joins are dependent on what kind of analysis you want to do. Okay. If you say that I don't want to, let's say I want to focus only on those kind of data which are common between both the tables, then you go for the inner join. But if you say, because see this orders table, I feel that this orders table is having all the majority of the records. Okay. So normally it is suggested, normally I'm using the word normal, it is suggested that people they go for the left join. Yeah. If your orders table is your fact table, then you go for the left join. So you take all the record, because see, you don't want to miss those records of the fact table. You want to take all the records of the fact table, so you normally you go for the left join. But sometimes it happens that it all depends upon the use case. That if you say that no, I want to focus only on those data set which are common between the both the tables, I want to only focus on those order ID which are common between the returns table and the orders table, then you can go for here inner join. Yeah. Now here, if you we have done the joining, okay. Now if I go on the right hand side, extreme right, yeah, you see here that in the returns table, yeah, returns table initially you will see here null, 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 because there are some records, yeah, there are some order IDs which are not available in the returns table, but they are available in the orders table. I repeat, here if you go to the extreme right, you will see here null, null, null in the returned column in the order ID of the returns table. Why? Because there are some order IDs here which are not available in your returns table, but they are available in your orders table. Now, how it is possible? How it is possible that there are some order IDs which are available in the orders table, but they are not available in the returns table? Items which are, let's say, which are order, definitely, yeah, all orders are not written, okay, because definitely the customers are happy with the orders, so they would not like to return, okay. But return, remember that I saw one story, it was real story, that there was a group of 4 or 5 people. I don't want to name them, I don't want to name the country also, but they had done a big scam of, just they earned the money based on the returning of the product. They actually never returned any product, but they showcased that they had returned the product to XYZ company, and the company had paid the money. Yeah, but actually, after 2 to 3 years, the company realized that something was wrong. Okay, and there was a huge amount which they had earned out of that. Yeah, so there are very, very smart people in this world who can do this kind of activity. Okay, that because what happened that, let's say if we are talking about Amazon is they are sending the product, but the returning of the product is taken care of by another company, and sometimes there is no communication between that the third party and this Amazon. So Amazon feels that okay, this person has returned the product, but the third party has not received that product, and Amazon is paying some money, so something like that. So something is happening over there. So many people they have, or some of the people, not many people, but some of the people they have misused this system, and they were earning money out of that. Okay, definitely we should not be going for that, but yeah, so definitely there are products which are not returned. Yeah, not all products are returned, so that's why definitely here we are having this null, null, null. Now see here, we can see that first of all, we are having all the columns of the orders table, and then we are having these 2 columns of people's table, and then we are having the 2 columns of the returns table. Yeah. Now let us click on this gear icon. Yeah, just click on this gear icon again. If you click on the gear icon, yeah, today also I'll show you this aliases, how to create the aliases and what is the use of these aliases. But we have already seen this show hidden fields. Yeah, because we had hidden one field, and we wanted to unhide, so we already know these hidden fields. Now we focus on this area, sort fields. So if you want to do the sorting here, just here only in this in this window, if you want to do the sorting of the fields, then by default the sorting is done in uh, 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 the sorting is based on the data source order. Data source, your original source, your Excel file. So whatever the sorting is there in the original source, the same sorting is also over here. Yeah. So that is what we mean by the data source order. But suppose if you want to go for, let's say, ascending, you want to have all the fields in ascending order. So we can click on this A to Z ascending. Okay, I can click here A to Z ascending. And now what happens here, when you click on A to Z ascending, You see here it is starting from category, city, country oblique region, customer ID, customer name, blah, blah, blah. Then comes here order ID. You see here order date, order ID. And then this other order ID is also available over here because they are sorted in ascending order. So this order ID is coming from the orders table and this order ID is coming from the returns table. Yeah, so these two order IDs are together. Then the region column, you see the region column, the two region columns, one from orders table, from one from the people's table, they are also shown together. And finally, which is the last column here in the ascending order, subcategory is the last column. Okay, so it starts with category column and it ends with the subcategory column. So this is your, if you click on the gear icon, this is your A to Z ascending. Similarly, if you click on Z to A descending, if you click on Z to A descending, definitely subcategory will be shown first, just reverse, and the category will be shown at the bottom. If you click the gear icon again, then the next option here is A to Z ascending per table. Now, what is the difference between A to Z ascending and A to Z ascending per table? You see, when you go for A to Z ascending, what it will do, if we are having here 3 tables, and whatever the number of columns we are having, all the columns will be sorted together. If you go for A to Z ascending or Z to A descending. But when you want to do the sorting per table, let's say you are having orders table is having 21 columns or 21 fields. You want to do the sorting only of the orders table. Then you want to do the sorting of the people's table. Then you want to do the sorting of the returns table. If you want to do the sorting individually per table, then we can go for this option. Let's say A to Z ascending per table. If I click it. So now here in A to Z ascending per table, it starts with category and it ends over here with subcategory. Okay, so this is your orders table. Then comes the people's table. In the people's table also, first of all, we are having region and then regional manager. And then we are having the returns table. In the returns table also, we are having here order ID and then returned. Yeah, so here it is A to Z ascending per table. And similarly, we can go for Z to A descending per table. But what I'll tell you here, don't change any of these sorting fields. You go with the default one, data source order. I'll tell you why this is not important. Yeah, let's click again here, data source order, this option, data source order. Okay, why this option is not that much important. Yeah, just now, see, when you are focusing only on this area, then you can go with these options, that is fine. But now what we'll do, that once we have connected these 3 tables with each other, yeah, now let us go to the we go to the visualization area. Okay, so how to go to the visualization area? You can see here at the bottom area, yeah, here on the bottom left corner here, it is written here sheet 1, yeah, below. Okay, and what it says here, go to worksheet. Okay, so now if you want to start creating the visualization, because we have connected the data set here, we have done the joining here. Yeah, now we want to start the data visualization. Yeah, yesterday we saw that there is not that much of data cleaning to be done in this Tableau desktop or Tableau public. The major cleaning can be done in the Tableau prep, but that's a separate tool. So now we want to start with the visualization process. So what we'll do, we will click here below, left hand side bottom area, sheet 1. I click on sheet 1. And when I click on sheet 1, now we are in another window. See here, this is another window. And in this window, you can see that now on the left hand side, we are having this data panel. Okay. Now just you compare it with Power BI. In case of Power BI, you are having the data panel on the right hand side. While in case of Excel, this Tableau, you are having the data panel on the left hand side. That's the difference. Okay, this is one of the difference. You remember these differences. As I said yesterday, that this can be asked in interview if you are appearing for anything. Yeah. So this is the data panel. Now here there is also some difference here if we compare with Power BI. So in Power BI, what happened that whatever the fields which we are having, whether it is numerical field or whether it is categorical field or whether it is geographical field, all the fields are shown together in Power BI, and all the fields are shown in ascending order. Yeah, it shows it's always start with the alphabet A and then it ends with Z. Okay, so it shows in the ascending order. But all the different types of fields are shown together. Now here in this Tableau, what happens? You see here, first of all, we are having the orders table. In the orders table, it starts with category, it ends with subcategory. These are all the fields which are coming from the orders table. Then we are having the people's table. So these are the two fields of the people's table that we have already seen. Returns table is also having these two fields. Now you see here again below, it is showing you again below orders table. Here also there is orders table. Here also below there is orders table. Yeah, and in the orders table here, it is showing you here discount, profit, quantity, and sales. Yeah. So what is doing here in case of Tableau, that all your numerical fields are shown separately here. They are not mixed up. They are not mixed up with these other fields. While in case of Power BI, all the fields are mixed up. But in case of Tableau, this these four numerical fields which we are having here, discount, profit, quantity, and sales, yeah, they are shown separately. Suppose if your people's table and the returns table is also having some numerical field, then they will be also shown over here separately. Yeah. So in case of now Tableau, now the concept comes over here, very, very important concept. In case of Tableau, let me show you one concept here. Yeah. So in case of Tableau, we are having two concepts here. One is known as dimensions and another one is known as measures. Okay, so dimensions and measures. So what is this dimension and what is this measure? Yeah, so here it says dimensions contain, yeah, dimensions contain qualitative values. Just remember the word dimensions means qualitative values and measures means quantitative values. So dimensions contain qualitative values such as names, dates, or geographical data. Yeah. So here in our example, if we see the data set, we are having here city, category, yeah, even customer name, order date, order ID, postal code. These are all qualitative data. Okay. Product ID, yes, you can see here that product ID, but our product ID is combination of some text, some year, and some numbers. Okay. But if I focus on, let's say, category, so we saw yesterday the three categories: office supplies, technology, and furniture. So whenever you are having these different categories, okay, or different customer names will be different, okay, the ship mode is different. There are various kind of ship mode like same day, first class, second class, yeah, likewise. Then ship dates are also different. So whenever you are having these kind of fields, they are known as dimensions. They are known as dimensions. And if we are talking about the numerical field, let's say these are your four numerical field: discount, profit, quantity, and sales. They are known as measures. Okay, so you have to remember these two words here. Here, that is dimensions and measures. What are measures? Measures contain numeric quantitative values that you can measure. Measures are aggregated by default. Aggregated by default means we will see further that if I take the sales value, if I take the sales field, it will be doing the summation. Yeah, in case of Power BI also you saw that when we are taking the any numerical field, it will by default do the aggregation, sum. Okay, it will sum all the sales, it will sum all the discount, it will sum all the profit. That is the default characteristic of a numerical value. So here also our measures, when we use the measure in the visualization, it will do the aggregation. Yeah, we'll see today only. Yeah, what is dimension? Dimension means, you remember the example of dates, names, categories, yeah, geographical data like city, yeah, country. These are all the examples of dimensions. Okay. Now, if you focus on this right hand side area, you see that this area, this area, okay, these are all your dimensions. Okay. And if you see the color of this data type or this icon here, the color of these icons are blue color. Yeah, they are all blue color here, the icons I'm talking about. While if you focus on this area, okay, you see the color of this data type or color of this icon, they are green color. So what is this blue color and what is this green color here? Okay, so now we'll discuss this point here. Yeah, because they are identified separately here. Okay, so if we want to understand this blue color and green color, then let us come back to this area. Yeah, this is, see, this is the, if you want to have this article, I can put it over here in the chat panel. Yeah, so that you can refer it later on. So here it says blue versus green fields. Yeah, that is what we want to discuss now. Tableau represents data differently in the view depending on whether the field is discrete or continuous. Now there are two more words here. Initially we saw these dimensions and measures. So dimension is having qualitative value and measures is having quantitative value. Okay. While here, continuous and discrete, dimension and measures, yeah, they are very clear. But now comes here continuous and discrete. These two words also, they are, that also you have to remember. What is continuous? Continuous means, here it says continuous means forming an unbroken whole without interruption. These fields are colored green. When a continuous field is put on the rows or column shelf, an axis is created in the view. Yeah, first of all, let us read this line and then I'll explain. Discrete. Discrete means individually separate and distinct. These fields are colored blue. When a discrete field is put on the rows or column shelf, a header is created in the view. So in simple words, if I want to explain you what is discrete and what is continuous, discrete means you are talking about the customer name, let's say. Okay, so customer names will be separate. It is discrete. Okay, if we talk about categories, subcategories, ship mode, they are all discrete. Yeah, one category will be totally different from the other category. So that is known as discrete. While continuous, example will be, let's say, temperature. Okay, now example is temperature. Temperature will be, let's say, it will be 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, 10.4, 10.5, yeah, and so on. Then it will be 11.1, 11.2, 11.0. So it's a continuous value. If we talk about pressure, pressure, whatever the value of the pressure will be there, that will be also continuous value. Okay, if I'm talking about the marks also, marks of the marks in the exam, they are also continuous. Okay, so normally you remember like this, that whichever fields which are having numbers, they are by default continuous. Whichever fields are having numbers, they are by default known as continuous field. So normally all your measures are by default continuous, because measures are containing the numerical field, numerical value. So by default, measures will be continuous. And by default, dimensions, yeah, dimensions will be by default discrete, because dimensions, I gave you that example here, names, dates, geographical data, yeah, they are all separate. They are all separate from each other. So they are by default discrete. Okay, so remember like this, that dimensions are by default discrete, measures are by default continuous. Okay, by default you use that, you remember that word by default. But here we can see that discrete dimension and continuous dimension. Now see, I said that dimensions are by default discrete, but here it is also showing you an example where dimensions are also continuous. Okay, so I can convert, remember one sentence, I'll also show you practically that dimensions which are discrete by default, I can also make it continuous. See here you can see this order date. What is order date? Date is a discrete value. It's a dimension. So normally the date will be discrete because it's a dimension. But I can also convert the same date into a continuous dimension. Yeah, but I'll show you this thing practically in the Tableau. Now measures are by default continuous. So here we can see sum of profit. This is a continuous measure. This is a continuous measure. But a measure can also be discrete. A measure can also be converted into discrete value. So basically, okay. So dimension can also be converted from discrete to continuous. And when the dimension is converted from discrete to continuous, what is the discrete dimension? Discrete dimension is always shown in blue color. But as soon as you convert the dimension into continuous value, you see here the color is now green color. Okay. And when the measure is continuous, by default the measure color will be green color. But when you convert that measure from continuous to discrete, the color will change from green color to blue color. So I would say that I can think that it will not be so easy to understand this concept, but once we'll go for the practical part now, then you'll understand this concept. Okay, but at least you remember these four words: dimensions, measures, discrete, and continuous. Yeah, just take these words here. Okay, discrete means they are separate. Okay, while continuous means it's a continuous value. Okay, and as I said that dimensions are by default discrete and measures